if you're like the rest of us in sobriety and early sobriety, we don't like ourselves a heck of a lot when we get sober, probably because all of our misdeeds and behaviors and our lack of control, even though it's not about willpower, it is a disease. I believe it is its own type of disease. But I felt like I had thrown away, I had been drinking and using on an almost daily basis for 14 years. And I had thrown away a free ride at UT. I had thrown away friendships. I had thrown away my whole identity. I'd thrown away the love of my life. I had imploded every area of my life. So the level of guilt and shame I felt about not just my addictions, which I eventually let go of, but just my behavior in those addictions and how much I had screwed up my life and how I had hurt the people I loved. Like, again, I wasn't in a relationship, but my family members, my siblings, my parents, my friends that I had shoved out of my life because I didn't want them to see how bad my addiction was. I was just so riddled with guilt and shame and remorse and regret and honest to God, self-loathing. I can't imagine wanting anyone to see me. And when I think about intimacy, it's a little silly and corny, but I do like that definition, into me see. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to connect. I wanted people to get to know me, but only the parts of me that I liked and not the rest of it. So you can't do that. If you want to let someone in, they have to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And as far as I was concerned, it was mostly ugly. And I had a lot of rebuilding to do. I had to kind of learn how to work a mainstream job and become a dependable person and an honest person and a non-manipulative person and all of these things that I had a lot of maturing to do. But when I started dating, I could hide all that stuff. I didn't have to tell anyone that I was a former addict, at least not on the first date, right? Whereas you're seeing somebody who wants to see the whole you. And did you feel like you tried to hide that stuff, or did you let her see it all? And how did that feel?
Yeah, that's a really great question because if you think about the guilt and the shame at the beginning, of which you have so much, and how you learn later on to not be so hard on yourself in some ways because there was abuse, there was trauma, there was this almost always, or something in the family or whatever that helped. But as also you're taking full responsibility for your actions at the same time, you have to work kind of a balance between those two things. Well, for crying out loud, when you're working on those things, do you really just like feel attractive?